You might think that your home renovation is going to go just like one of those HGTV shows, but I'm here to tell you why it probably won't. Hey there, it's Christina from the DIYmommy.com. Sean and I are in the midst of renovating our second vacation rental slash family cottage, and this is a tiny cabin. We're about 2 months into the renovation, and we're at this point where we were with the first renovation, where we're kind of like, what are we doing, and why are we even doing this, because it's a disaster. So today I'm going to give you an update on the renovation and share with you 10 reasons why your home renovation probably won't go as smoothly as the HGTV shows do. Don't get me wrong, I love the jaw-dropping transformations that you see on those shows. However, they're just not reality. So let's get started. So Sean is currently excavating for the tanks that have to go in the front yard and the backyard of the cottage for the water and the sewer. And that's the first point that I have, is you're not going to have this huge team of experts to help you with your renovation like they do on the home shows. We're doing this all ourselves. Namely, Sean is doing most of it himself.
I'm right now at the point where it feels pretty overwhelming and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. So I wish I could just call in a crew of guys to do it for me. I can't, because nobody is available. Nobody will be available right now when we need them, and it's the only good weather we've had, so every rental place in the country is out of equipment as well.
Reason number 2 that the renos are so different in reality is that you can't just snap your fingers and have the before and after within that like 22-minute time frame that they have on HGTV. In reality, you're gonna have a much longer timeline, and on top of that, it's gonna go even longer than your planned timeline. I can pretty much promise you that. I haven't seen too many renovations that have gone exactly to plan as far as the timeline goes. So you're gonna need to give yourself a lot of time for all the steps, especially if you're doing a lot of it yourself. Plus, there's a ton of planning time even before the renovations, as far as doing the actual floor plans, the mood boards, lining up your trades, sourcing all your products. So definitely give yourself a generous amount of time to finish your renovation. In the case of this tiny lake house, we were hoping to get it done in a few months, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be more like 4 or 5 months. We're gonna find out, and we'll definitely keep you posted along the way. Reason number 3 that your makeover isn't gonna go just like HGTV is because your budget is gonna be quite a bit lower than what they have on those shows. So not only are the homeowners usually having probably a larger budget than what you have, there's probably a little bit of funding from sponsors, from the show itself. So working with a smaller budget, you're usually a little bit more limited into the products that you can use, the labor that you can pay for, etc. Reason number 4 that your real reno won't go like a TV show is that, believe me, you're gonna have some friends and family that offer you unsolicited advice about your renovation. They're not gonna exactly know the ins and outs of this specific renovation you're doing. Sometimes you'll get some really great advice from family and friends, but often you kind of just have to nod and smile and move on. We have plumbing. Reason number 5 is that renovations will never go according to plan. You're gonna have to alter some things as you go along and as you learn more about the specific project you're working on. Sometimes you'll uncover things that you never knew existed in the first place. So for our tiny lake cabin, once we opened up the walls and the floor, we kind of had to reevaluate what we were doing from there. So you really have to be flexible when you're doing a home renovation, and I think it's really good to have those plans in place. It's extremely important, but just be prepared to be a little bit flexible with those plans as you go along. Reason number 6 that your renovation won't go like the HGTV shows is that unexpected problems are always going to pop up. And I noticed that they kind of weave them into the shows, you know, like randomly there's one problem they might have before commercial, and then when commercial comes back, the problem is magically solved. In a real home renovation, and we've done dozens now, and a couple really hard ones, there's going to be multiple problems that pop up, and they're going to take a lot of problem solving skills and probably money and time to solve.
Just in the last couple of days, I ran into the problem of the first 5 feet of digging was really nice, and then at 6 feet, you hit sandstone and you can't go any further without a lot of work. So it's taken me way longer to do what I'm doing, and I want bigger machinery, but like I said, all the rental companies are rented out, so you can't get bigger stuff. So yeah, not as planned.
And then another problem that we're encountering is because of supply chain issues, we're not getting the items that we want. We're having to wait for things, machinery, finishing items, everything. So we kind of have to go to plan B, plan C, plan D for a lot of the things in this particular renovation and the ones that we've done in the past too. Reason number 7 is your partnership is going to be tested. And I know on those TV shows, they show kind of a little bit of playful back and forth usually with couples, whether they're spouses, partners on the show. But in reality, you are going to have some pretty major issues with your partner if you're doing it with your partner. Sean and I have gone back and forth on lots of text messages. There's been lots of heated discussions about budget. And I feel like budget is one of those things that's always going to pop up and that's always going to cause those little arguments and things. So definitely have a lot of grace with your partner as you go through the process. Be aware that there's going to be times where you're not going to agree on the decisions you're making in the renovation, and try to really communicate and work those through together. Reason number 8 is there's going to be a ton of dust, noise, and chaos as you renovate. And they don't really show that on the shows. It's always very clean, always cleaned up, ready to go. But if you're renovating, and especially if you're living in your renovation, you're gonna have a lot of that to deal with as you go along. So if you are a clean freak, just beware that you're gonna have to do a whole bunch of extra cleaning as you renovate, but it's gonna be worth it in the end. Reason number 9 that your home renovation probably won't go like the HGTV shows is you're probably gonna have to do a ton of the work yourself, especially if you're on a budget, especially if you're under time constraints. In this case, we are doing all the work ourselves.
Yeah, to save time or to save money and to save time, because to get contractors in and get them on schedule is a tough thing at certain times of the year as well. Even if you hire contractors, when you do a renovation, most likely there will be lots of little things that those contractors will not have worked in or will not have thought about, or you will not have thought about. So there'll just be little things all over the place that you might have to do yourself, or you'll have to expand the contracts on your original contractors, which will cost more money, which you probably won't want to do at that point because you will be over budget most likely already, and you'll end up doing some of it yourself, even if you think you're not going to. Whether it be cleanup, whether it be tear out, it does save money, and sometimes the contractors won't even have time to work it in. So you might have to just wait, or you won't have a choice, right?
Reason number 10 that your reno is going to be a lot different than those HGTV shows is that because you've taken your time, in the end, the renovation is going to be 100% worth it. And I know on every single renovation that Sean and I have done together, especially the last little lake house rental that we did, it did take a lot longer than planned. We did have to do a lot of things differently than we wanted to originally, but because we were able to take that time and do a good job, fix mistakes, and really persevere to the end, it was 100% worth it. We were so proud of the house and how it turned out in the end, and our guests really enjoy it too, so that makes it 100% worth it. So you probably saw in this video that we are digging the tanks for the water and the sewer at the house. Sean removed all the subfloor, spray foamed underneath, put in some in-floor heating. He also plumbed the whole house, and we're working on trying to get the siding prepped for painting. We still have so much to go, but I'm trying to focus on what we actually got done. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed this take on real renovations versus HGTV shows. We don't mean it to scare you. We just want to make sure that we put across more of a realistic look at home renovations. And I feel like that's the beauty of YouTube, is we can share the behind the scenes real issues that we're facing as we go along. And that's kind of why I want to share this tiny house renovation step by step in real time. So hopefully it gives you an idea if you're embarking on your own renovation. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel to be the first to hear of any new updates on the tiny cabin renovation. I'm gonna leave some more videos that I hope you will enjoy watching next, right up here.